What if the words you don't say are infinitely more powerful than the ones you do? In a world drowning in a constant flood of noise and opinion, what if true authority is found not in adding to the chaos, but in a profound, deliberate, and powerful silence? This is the forgotten secret to commanding respect without ever having to demand it, and today we will learn to master it. Speak less and command more, respect instantly. Compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. The silent aura of authority. Imagine a vast and ancient mountain, its peak shrouded in clouds, its base rooted deep in the bedrock of the earth. The mountain is utterly silent. It does not announce its presence. It does not boast of its strength. It does not demand that the landscape conform to its will. Now, imagine a noisy, rushing stream, chattering and splashing as it tumbles down the mountainside. The stream is full of frantic energy and constant sound, demanding the attention of any creature nearby. The inner conflict for so many of us is that we have been taught to believe that power and authority are like the noisy stream. We believe we must be loud, we must be constantly talking, we must fill every available space with our opinions and our voice to be seen as a leader, as a person of substance. The painful and deeply ingrained problem with this belief is that it is a profound misunderstanding of human dynamics. When we feel the compulsive need to constantly speak, to dominate a conversation, to prove our intelligence with a flood of words, we are not projecting strength. We are often signaling a deep and gnawing insecurity. We are the noisy stream, and our frantic chatter is a confession of our shallowness. We fear that if we were silent, we would disappear, that our value is tied to the volume of our contribution, not its quality. This constant verbal performance is exhausting, and it often has the opposite of its intended effect. Instead of commanding respect, it makes others tune us out, seeing us as just another source of noise in an already loud world. The transformative solution is to reject the model of the noisy stream and to begin cultivating the quiet, immense, and powerful presence of the silent mountain. It is the art of developing a silent aura of authority that is felt by everyone in the room long before you ever speak a word. The core Stoic idea is that true authority is not an act of speaking, it is a state of being. It is an internal quality of self-possession and quiet confidence that emanates from a well-ordered mind. A person who is genuinely secure in their knowledge, their principles, and their own self-worth feels no compulsive need to prove it with a constant stream of words. Their silence is not an absence of thought. It is a sign of a mind that is calm, observant, and in complete control of itself. This powerful stillness is what truly commands attention and respect. The benefit of this is that you move from being one of the many voices competing for attention to being the calm, gravitational center around which the conversation organizes itself. Your presence alone becomes a source of stability and focus. You conserve your energy. You gain immense clarity by observing more than you speak, and you discover that when you do finally choose to speak, your words have 100 times the impact. The actionable step to begin cultivating this silent authority is to practice listening to presence. In your next group meeting, your next family dinner, or your next conversation with friends, make it your primary goal to be the last one to speak on any given topic. Your job is not to formulate your own opinion while others are talking. Your job is to listen with an intense, focused, and quiet presence. Absorb what is being said. Understand the dynamics of the room. Let your silence be an active, observant force, not a passive, vacant one. By practicing this, you will break the habit of compulsive speaking. You will discover the immense amount of information and power you can gain by simply observing. And you will notice that when you do finally speak, after everyone else has had their say, your words, informed by deep listening, will be more insightful and carry far more weight. I urge you to try this practice this week. Be the mountain, not the stream. This silent presence must be rooted in a genuine inner calm. How do we build this foundation of tranquility? Our next lesson is on building confidence that is rooted in inner calm. Before we proceed on this path, please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to commit to the journey of cultivating a powerful, silent presence. Lesson 2. Confidence, rooted in inner calm. Imagine a massive, heavy spinning wheel, like a potter's wheel or an ancient grinding stone. When it is spinning at high speed, it has a powerful gyroscopic stability. The outer edge of the wheel is moving frantically at an incredible velocity. But the source of its stability, the point around which everything revolves, is its center, which is perfectly, profoundly still. If the center were to wobble, the entire wheel would become unstable and fly apart. The inner conflict for us is that we try to find confidence in the frantic motion of the outer edge of our lives, in our achievements, our busy schedules, our constant communication, while completely neglecting the still, quiet center from which all true stability originates. The painful problem is that our speech is often a direct and honest reflection of our inner anxiety. When our inner world is not calm, when our mind is racing with insecurities and fears, we betray that turmoil with our words. We talk too fast. We use filler words like ah, and like to plug the gaps while our anxious mind tries to catch up. We ramble, we over-explain, we repeat ourselves, all because we are subconsciously trying to talk our way out of our own anxiety to convince both ourselves and the other person that we are confident when we feel anything but. This anxious speech is like the wobbling center of the spinning wheel. It makes our entire presence feel unstable, unreliable, and insecure. It completely undermines any respect or authority we are trying to project. Because our lack of inner calm is transparent to everyone listening, the transformative solution is to understand that calm, confident, and respected speech can only ever be the result of a genuinely calm and confident inner state. The work is not to practice speaking more confidently. The work is to do the deep, internal work of cultivating the inner calm from which confident speech will naturally and effortlessly flow. The core Stoic idea is that the state of your soul, your inner world, dictates the state of your speech. A chaotic, reactive, and turbulent soul will always and inevitably produce chaotic, reactive, and turbulent speech. A tranquil, well-ordered, and rational soul, a state the Stoics called apatheia, will naturally produce calm, measured, and rational words. The Stoics were not interested in faking it until you make it. They were interested in being the kind of person from whom virtuous and effective action naturally proceeds. The benefit of this inside-out approach is that your confidence becomes authentic, not a performance. You no longer have to try to sound confident, you simply are. This creates a powerful, congruent presence where your inner state and your outer expression are in perfect alignment, a quality which is profoundly rare and deeply respected. The actionable step to begin cultivating this inner stillness is the pre-conversation anchor. Before you enter any conversation or situation where you want to feel calm and centered, a meeting, a date, a difficult discussion, take 60 seconds for yourself. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and practice a simple grounding technique. The most powerful is a physiological one like box breathing. Inhale slowly for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale slowly for a count of 4, and hold the exhale for a count of 4. Repeat this for 1 minute. As you breathe, focus all your attention on the physical sensation of your feet planted firmly on the floor. This simple 1-minute ritual acts as a powerful anchor. It deliberately calms your nervous system, slows your racing mind, and connects you to that still, quiet center of the spinning wheel. You will enter the conversation from a place of genuine inner calm, not just a feigned appearance of it. I challenge you to try this pre-conversation anchor before your next important interaction. Find your still center before you engage with the world. From this place of calm, we can be far more deliberate about the words we choose. How do we use this calm to speak with precision and power? Our next lesson is on the art of cutting words, chosen sparingly. If you are ready to build your confidence from the calm center outward, please like this video. Lesson 3. Cutting words, chosen sparingly. Imagine a master sculptor, a true artist like Michelangelo, standing before a great block of marble. His goal is to reveal the beautiful form of the David hidden within the stone. He does not attack the marble with 1,000 frantic, random blows. He does not create a cloud of dust and noise through mindless action. Instead, he studies the stone with deep concentration. He is a man of profound thought and immense restraint. And when he acts, his actions are precise, powerful, and infrequent. He understands that a few perfectly placed and powerful cuts of the chisel are what reveal the masterpiece. 1,000 careless chips will only destroy it. The inner conflict we face is that in our communication, we are almost always the novice who chips away frantically, creating a lot of dust and noise, but revealing nothing of substance. The painful problem is that we dilute the power and the meaning of our words by using far too many of them. Our most important points, our moments of genuine insight, and our sincere feelings get completely lost in a vast muddy sea of fluff, of over-explanation, of repetition, and of nervous, meaningless chatter. We believe that by saying more, we are being more clear and more persuasive, but we are actually achieving the opposite. We are overwhelming our listener, we are boring them, and we are signaling that we haven't thought deeply enough about our topic to distill it down to its powerful essence. Our words lack the sharp, cutting edge of a master's chisel because we have buried them in a mountain of verbal dust. The transformative solution is to adopt the mindset of the master sculptor. It is the disciplined and respectful practice of verbal economy, the art of treating your words as a precious, limited, and powerful resource to be used with the utmost precision, purpose, and care. The core Stoic idea is that brevity is a direct and honest signal of clarity and confidence. The philosopher Seneca, a master of the concise and powerful phrase, understood this well. A person who can make their point in 10 well-chosen words has almost certainly thought more deeply and has more confidence in their position than a person who needs 100 rambling words to say the same thing. The Stoics valued reasoned speech, and reason seeks clarity and precision, not volume and verbosity. The benefit of this practice is that your words gain immense power and impact. You become a person whose every sentence lands with the force and precision of the sculptor's chisel. People will listen to you more intently, they will remember what you say, and they will see you as a person of great clarity, intelligence, and substance. You stop being a source of noise, and you start being a source of signal. The actionable step to cultivate this skill is the one-sentence rule. This is a powerful mental training exercise. In your next conversation, after the other person makes a point, challenge yourself to formulate your entire initial response into a single, powerful, and concise sentence in your mind before you are allowed to speak. You don't necessarily have to say only that one sentence, but the act of formulating it forces you to find the absolute core of your thought. It forces you to cut away all the unnecessary words and find the sharp, essential point. For example, instead of a long, rambling paragraph of agreement, your one-sentence formulation might be, "That is the core of the issue." Instead of a long, defensive explanation, it might be, "My action was a mistake, and I will correct it." This practice, over time, will train your mind to think in a more structured, logical, and powerful way. It is the mental equivalent of the sculptor studying the stone before he strikes. I urge you to try the one-sentence rule in your conversations this week. Learn to find the cutting edge of your own thoughts. Precision is powerful, but so is timing. The space between our words is often as important as the words themselves. Our next lesson is on the profound power of the pause moment. To support our channel, please comment below and share how you think speaking with more precision could change your life. Lesson 4. Power in the pause moment. Imagine a great predator, a magnificent lion, stalking its prey on the savannah. It is not a creature of frantic, constant motion. Its power lies in its patience and its profound stillness. It might remain perfectly, motionlessly still for a very long time, its muscles coiled, its focus absolute. And then, just before it explodes into a blur of decisive action, there is a moment of perfect, profound pause. The entire world seems to hold its breath. It is in this moment of tense, powerful stillness that all of its energy is gathered, focused, and prepared for the final, effective strike. The inner conflict for us is that we are deeply, profoundly afraid of this kind of pause in our conversations. We see a moment of silence not as a source of power, but as a vacuum that must be filled immediately. The painful problem is that our fear of conversational pauses makes us seem nervous, reactive, and weak. When someone asks us a difficult question, we rush to answer, often with a clumsy, ill-conceived response, because we fear that a moment of silence will make us look like we don't know the answer. When we make an important point, we immediately talk over it with more words, diluting its impact, because we are uncomfortable with letting it hang in the air. We give away the rhythm, the pace, and the control of the conversation because of our deep-seated fear of a few seconds of silence. This frantic need to fill every available space with noise is a direct confession of our own inner anxiety. The transformative solution is to conquer this fear and to learn to master the art of the deliberate pause. It is the practice of using moments of silence as a powerful tool to gather your thoughts, to command attention, and to assert calm, unshakable control over any interaction. The core Stoic idea is that the person who is comfortable with silence is the person who is in control of the conversation, because they are in control of themselves. The Stoics were masters of self-possession. A deliberate pause before answering a challenging question is a powerful demonstration of this. It communicates without words, "I am not intimidated by your question. I am taking the time to consider it properly and will give you a thoughtful, reasoned response." A deliberate pause after you have made a key point gives it immense weight and allows it to sink into the minds of the listeners. It is an act of profound confidence in the power of your own words. The benefit of this is that you instantly appear more thoughtful, more confident, and more authoritative. You stop being a reactive participant in the conversation, and you become its calm, deliberate conductor. You will find that when you pause, others lean in. You command their attention not by raising your voice, but by lowering it to the point of silence. The actionable step to practice this is the 3-beat pause. Your new rule is this: after someone asks you an important or challenging question, you will deliberately and consciously pause for 3 full seconds before you begin to answer. You can use this time to take one slow, silent breath. In this pause, you will formulate the one-sentence answer from our previous lesson. Then, you will deliver that one well-chosen sentence. This technique will feel radical and extremely uncomfortable at first, but it is one of the most powerful communication shifts you can possibly make. It will transform you from a reactive amateur into a poised and thoughtful professional. I challenge you to try the 3-beat pause in your next important conversation this week. Embrace the power of the pause. This pause is a tool for maintaining composure. But how do we maintain that unshakable presence when the pressure is truly on, when we feel publicly attacked or criticized? Our next lesson is on this very topic. Please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to master these arts of powerful communication. Lesson 5. Unshakable presence. Under pressure. Imagine the captain of a great ship caught in a terrifying storm. The winds are howling, the waves are crashing over the deck, and the crew, who are not as experienced as he is, are beginning to panic. Their fear is a contagious, chaotic energy. The inner conflict for the captain is whether to allow the crew's panic to become his own, or to embody a presence so calm and so unshakable that it actually calms the crew. A weak captain would be swept up in the collective fear. He would start shouting frantic orders, his face a mask of terror. His lack of composure would confirm the crew's worst fears and lead to a complete breakdown of discipline, dooming the ship. The strong, stoic captain, however, does the opposite. The painful problem is that when we are put under intense public pressure, when we are criticized in a meeting, when we are challenged in a presentation, when we make a mistake in front of an audience, our first instinct is to mirror the chaotic energy of the situation. We get defensive, our voice gets tight, our body language closes off, and we begin to emit an aura of panic. This projects weakness, erodes our credibility, and confirms to everyone watching that we are not in control of ourselves, let alone the situation. We become the panicked captain, and our lack of composure can cause the entire ship to sink. The transformative solution is to train ourselves, with the dedication of a sea captain, to maintain a calm, solid, and unshakable presence, especially when we feel attacked or scrutinized. It is the art of becoming the eye of the storm. The core Stoic idea is that your composure is your most powerful and persuasive statement in any moment of crisis or pressure. The Stoics believe that a wise person's inner state, their tranquil soul, should not be disturbed by external events. When you refuse to be drawn into the chaos, when you refuse to let your own inner state be dictated by the stress of the moment, you demonstrate a level of self-mastery that is profoundly rare and deeply impressive. Your composure becomes a shield that protects you and a lighthouse that guides others. The benefit of this is that you become a true leader. People are naturally drawn to and will trust a person who can maintain their composure under fire. Your ability to stay calm allows your rational mind to continue working, enabling you to find solutions and navigate the crisis effectively, while others are lost in the fog of their own panic. The actionable step to cultivate this is the observe, don't absorb technique. When you find yourself under public pressure and you feel that hot surge of adrenaline and defensiveness, you must immediately shift your mental state from being a participant to being an observer. Imagine you are a scientist watching a fascinating human interaction. Silently label your own rising emotions. Ah, that is the feeling of defensiveness arising. Interesting. Silently label the other person's tactics. That was a personal attack, designed to provoke an emotional response. This act of observing and labeling creates a mental distance. It is you stepping out of the fray and onto a calm, analytical balcony overlooking the scene. This mental shift is the key to not absorbing the chaotic energy of the situation. You are in the storm, but you are not of the storm. I urge you to try this the next time you're in a stressful meeting or a tense conversation. Become the calm, curious observer of the scene. This is the path to an unshakable public presence. Sometimes the wisest way to maintain this presence is to not speak at all. Our next lesson is on the power of speaking only as a last resort. If this lesson has been valuable to you, please like this video. Lesson 6. Speaking as a last resort. Imagine a wise and powerful king who rules a vast and complex kingdom. He does not rule by issuing a constant stream of commands, by offering his opinion on every minor issue, or by involving himself in every petty squabble in the court. To do so would be a sign of a weak, insecure, and micromanaging ruler. Instead, the wise king knows that many problems, if left alone, will resolve themselves. He knows that his words are his most powerful and precious resource, and he uses them with extreme economy. He spends most of his time in quiet observation, in deep thought, and in listening to his advisors. He chooses to use his power to command and to speak only when it is absolutely necessary, when the situation truly requires his intervention, and when his words will have the maximum positive impact. The inner conflict we face is that we are not the wise king. We are often the foolish courtier who believes that his value is determined by the volume of his speech. The painful problem is that we often feel compelled to speak on every issue, to solve every problem for others, and to offer our opinion even when it is not asked for. We jump into conflicts that do not concern us. We try to manage the lives of our friends and family, and we believe that our verbal engagement is a sign of our intelligence and our care. But often, it is a sign of our ego and our own anxiety. By constantly speaking, we rob others of the opportunity to solve their own problems. We create a dependency on our input, and we waste our own finite mental energy and authority on trivial matters that do not require our intervention. Our words, because they are used so often, become cheap and lose their power. The transformative solution is to adopt the mindset of the wise king. It is to learn to see your speech as a tool of immense power, and therefore as a tool to be used sparingly, strategically, and often only as a last resort after long periods of silent observation and deep thought. The core Stoic idea here is a combination of wisdom and a deep understanding of the dichotomy of control. A huge number of situations in the world, especially conflicts between other people, are entirely outside of our control. The Stoic recognizes that in these cases, adding our own words to the mix will likely have no positive effect and may even make things worse. In these situations, silence and non-intervention are the most rational and virtuous responses. The benefit of this is that you conserve your energy for your own duties. You also build a reputation for immense wisdom. Like the wise king, when you finally do choose to speak, people will listen with profound attention because they know you would not be speaking unless the matter was truly important and you had something of value to contribute. Your silence gives your words their power. The actionable step to cultivate this discipline is the "is this mine" filter. Before you speak up on an issue, before you offer a piece of advice, and especially before you jump into a conflict or a conversation that does not directly involve you, you must pause and ask yourself these 3 critical questions. 1. Is this truly my problem to solve, or does it belong to someone else? 2. Is my input genuinely necessary and has it been requested? 3. Is it highly probable that my words will actually improve this situation, or is it more likely that they will just add more noise and chaos? This simple filter will act as the wise advisor to the king, helping you to decide when to speak and when to remain silent. You will find that the answer to at least one of these questions is often no, giving you the permission to practice a powerful and wise restraint. I challenge you this week to use this filter to consciously refrain from speaking on one issue that is not yours to solve. Experience the peace and power that comes from this restraint. This brings us to our final lesson. How do we synthesize all of these principles to command respect without ever having to demand it? Our final lesson will reveal the key. Please subscribe to the Stoic Power channel to complete your journey. Lesson 7. Commanding respect without demands. Imagine the force of gravity. Gravity is arguably the most powerful and fundamental force in the universe. It holds galaxies together, it keeps planets in their orbits, and it anchors us to the Earth. But gravity does not make a sound, it does not issue commands, it does not shout or demand that objects fall toward it. It simply is. Its immense silent presence and its unwavering consistency are what naturally and effortlessly organize the entire world around it. Objects do not obey gravity out of fear. They simply respond to its fundamental nature. The final and most profound synthesis of our journey is to understand that true, deep, and lasting respect is commanded in the same way. The inner conflict is that we believe respect is something we can and should demand from the world. The painful problem is that demanding respect is the surest way to never receive it. When we have to say the words, "You need to respect me," we have already lost the battle. These words are a confession of our own perceived powerlessness. They are a sign that our own character and presence have failed to naturally elicit the respect we desire. So we must now resort to the weak and ineffective tactic of demanding it verbally. This almost always creates resentment and further disrespect, because genuine respect can only ever be earned. It can never be coerced. The transformative solution is the final integration of all the previous lessons. It is to stop chasing the shadow, which is the respect from others, and to focus with singular intensity on building the substance, which is your own character. It is to become a force of nature, like gravity, whose presence alone naturally and effortlessly commands respect without ever having to utter a single demand. The core Stoic idea is that respect is the shadow cast by a person of substance and virtue. Your job is not to chase the shadow, to try and manipulate it or grasp it. Your job is to build the substance of your own character, and the shadow will follow or not. To the true Stoic, the respect of others is a preferred indifferent. It is pleasant if it is there, but his own self-respect, which comes from living a life of virtue, is the only thing that is truly essential. The benefit of this is the ultimate liberation. You are freed from the needy and insecure pursuit of external validation. You focus on what you can control, your own character, and you become indifferent to what you cannot control, the opinions of others. And paradoxically, it is this very indifference, this quiet, self-sufficient confidence, that people find so profoundly and irresistibly respectable. The actionable step is the embodiment vow. This is not a task, but a final reorientation of your entire philosophy of life. It is a private, written commitment that integrates all that we have learned. In your journal, write a personal vow. It might be something like this. My primary goal is not to be respected by others. My goal is to become a man who is worthy of his own respect. I will focus on cultivating a quiet confidence, a calm heart, and a disciplined mind. I will speak with precision and purpose. I will act with an iron resolve. I will build my character with such integrity that the respect from others becomes a natural but non-essential consequence of the man I have become. I will be like gravity. My presence alone will be my statement. By writing and regularly reviewing this vow, you are cementing your commitment to the inner path. You are choosing to focus on the substance, not the shadow. This is the final step to becoming a man who speaks less but means more. A man who commands the deepest respect precisely because he never feels the need to demand it. We have journeyed through the 7 great disciplines of the Stoic path, from the silent aura of authority to the final, quiet power of a character that commands respect without demands. This journey teaches us that true strength and influence are found not in the volume of our voice or the quantity of our words, but in the depth of our silence, the calmness of our spirit, and the unwavering integrity of our character. Thank you for taking this time to explore this powerful philosophy of quiet strength. If this video has served you on your journey, please like this video, comment with your greatest takeaway, and subscribe to the Stoic Power channel for more wisdom on building a life of profound substance and unshakable peace.